Born in Acholi sub-region in northern Uganda, Alice Lakwena founded the Holy Spirit movement at just 28 years of age after returning from the River Nile, where she claimed to have gone to consult with the spirits for 40 days. Believed to be a medium of spiritual world, Lakwena is said to have channeled messages from the spirit of an Italian World War I veteran who had died at the age of 95 and was buried at Maxon Falls in northern Uganda. The philosophy of Alice Lakwena and the Holy Spirit movement was that the Acholi people of northern Uganda never surrender, and she was tail-bent on the objective of the Acholi tribe regaining political power in Uganda. It must be noted that prior to the National Resistance Army taking over power in Uganda in 1986 under Yoweri Museveni, the Acholi people had, under the leadership of General Tito Okello Lutwa, ruled the country from July 1985 to January 1986. As such, Alice Lakwena made it her mission to redeem the image of the Acholi people, which she claimed had been stained by the many atrocities and civilian killings committed by General Tito Okello and his Uganda National Liberation Army. Lakwena's Holy Spirit movement, which had gained a great traction and support among the Acholi people, especially the youth, was governed by a strict set of rules, also known as the Holy Spirit precautions. Alice Lakwena and her Holy Spirit movement were governed by the 10 Commandments, which she emphasized adherence to. She also urged her followers to attend Sunday Christian church and remain obedient to her teachings and orders. In November 1986, Alice Lakwena began her military campaign by bribing one of the commanders of the Uganda People's Democratic Army and securing the services and weapons of 150 of their soldiers. In her first 2 attacks in Konakilak and Pajule in Kidgum district in northern Uganda, Alice Lakwena's movement took Yoweri Museveni's National Resistance Army by surprise, heavily defeating them and capturing many weapons and supplies in the process. These 2 stunning victories marked the beginning of her military campaign, an approach she hoped would demonstrate the effectiveness of her advocacy. Alice Lakwena's success reportedly electrified thousands of Acholi youth, who in the next months were eager to join her. Many people believed that indeed she had spiritual power and the backing of the gods. However, when her young soldiers were killed, at times in large numbers, she explained that it was because they were impure or had not followed her orders faithfully. After registering her first 2 successes, the Uganda People's Democratic Army, which had sponsored her military campaign with weapons, came to collect the weapons back. However, Alice Lakwena refused to return the weapons and demanded that the Uganda People's Democratic Army subordinate itself to her. As a matter of fact, she went ahead to attack and kill the militants who refused to join her movement. In 1987, however, the Holy Spirit movement suffered serious setbacks that would see the end of their military campaign. It all started in January 1987, when hundreds of Lakwena's soldiers were killed in a battle near Kilak Corner, causing her to withdraw her troops and lay low for a while as she reorganized. In September of the same year, she began her journey together with hundreds of her soldiers to capture the capital city of Uganda, Kampala, recruiting many young people along the way. In November, however, her forces were surrounded and destroyed in Bugembe Forest, outside Jinja district, just 50 miles from Kampala city. Alice herself escaped to Kenya, where she was first detained and later accorded political asylum by the government of Kenya. She lived in the Ifo refugee camp in northern Kenya, where she claimed she had been abandoned by the spirits. In the year 2006, Alice Lakwena resurfaced with claims that she had discovered a cure for HIV/AIDS before dying of the same disease a year later on the 17th of January 2007. Despite the heavy defeats encountered in her military campaign in 1987, Alice Lakwena had planted a seed of resistance that would see the emergence of Africa's most elusive and most wanted warlord, Joseph Kony. In 1987, after Lakwena had fled to Kenya, Joseph Kony, who, claiming to be a spirit medium, just like Alice Lakwena, formed the Lord's Resistance Army at just 26 years of age. Joseph Kony led the insurgencies and mass atrocities in northern Uganda and eastern Uganda and Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and the Central African Republic for over 2 decades, and to date, his whereabouts remain unknown.